All right, let's go. Ayo, we're three hot guys sharing our opinions because we're special and different. Gold medals, we're winning. Can't help it if we're burdened by our intellect. You can play checkers while we pretend we know the rules to chess. The council has spoken, and we are the chosen. Your nose is broken because I broke it.
Sucks.
And welcome back to another episode of Will of the Council. It's your boy Joseph. I've got Jordan in the booth.
I am sending my legion of children to take over the world.
And we've got Danny who, oh my god, is he actively pumping away? Oh no. What are you up to over there?
You'll see me. I'm making babies. Having babies. Having multiple babies. That's for the millennial crew.
And of course, we've got Becky on the ones and twos. Becky, by the way, is currently pregnant with Musk's child.
Rebecca, I'm so sorry.
Okay, anyway, so what we're talking about today, I mean, there's so much we have to talk about today.
It's a lot.
We had to pare it down. There's, of course, the continued extrajudicial deportation of this random guy. There's the Red Robin bottomless burger basket.
God, by the way. Wow.
Excuse me, sir. Can you please refer to it by its good name? The Burger Battle Pass.
That's true. Friend of the channel, Ultima, is actually about to be executed for spreading misinformation.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll have him on sometime in the next couple of months to talk about that. But today we have to talk about the biggest thing that's happening, and that's Elon Musk and his breeding kink.
I can't believe this.
Gross.
Actually, okay,
Gross words out of your mouth.
Very bad words that have left your human mouth. But this is it's like the most like, yeah, of course kind of story, but it's also just the grossest fucking story of all time.
Okay, so
bad.
what's going on, for those of you who don't know, is that Elon Musk has like 1 trillion children. If you're unfamiliar, he's been like jacking off into a business envelope and sealing it and then just mailing it off to random right-wing influencers on X.com, the everything app.
Yeah.
Today it came out just how he approaches women because Tiffany Fong, some absolute numbskull who was at least smart enough to tell him no, released a significant amount of information about how he approached her. And in so doing, kind of set off a chain reaction where a bunch of people who post on twitter.com and are women were like, oh yeah, something similar happened to me.
Yes.
So here's the long and the short of it.
I knew about Tiffany, but I didn't know about the rest.
So Tiffany Fong has a blue account, which means that you blew Elon Musk. And
good one, dude.
She was
Only
getting,
bangers.
in terms of creator payments, something to the tune of $21,000 a week for
Every
her
2
account
weeks.
that has pretty unbelievable reach, right?
Yeah.
And one day, she was approached by Elon Musk asking if she would have his children. And she was like, I don't think so. And the money immediately dried up, right? Like all of a sudden, the creator payments were much less for some unbelievable reason.
That's so weird.
So many people are speculating that these high creator payments are kind of trickled out, much like cum from an otherwise impotent billionaire. And they're given to hot women online who post things like, Joe Biden is Hitler too.
Yep.
And then
I love my
they
Tesla.
are used as like leverage for a negotiations process where they are asked to, you know, be like a sort of weird stable mother for Elon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to impart to the listener, we're not like, these words are not like overly padded. Like, this is real. I just want to like make sure people understand that we're not just like making fun of Elon because he's generally creepy. Like, no, this is a thing.
I'm doing that.
Well, I mean, yes, we are doing that, but I want to impart that we're not just doing that. We are also telling you this because this is a real thing that he is doing.
No, like we're not making this up. We're not even like
Exactly.
a news. We're like 3 idiots online who talk about Reddit, right? Like this is not something that we're like, oh, what if he did this? Haha. And it's like, you know, we're just making stuff up. There is
We're not a reputable
verifiable
journalist like Ultima, yeah.
Yeah. Easily proven by many. It takes like eyeballs to figure this out.
Yeah.
No, so many of you probably are already intimately familiar with Elon Musk's breeding program because there's a bunch of women online who have had his children that we just know about. We know he has like 14 kids, but it turns out he's got a bunch more. And he had envisioned purchasing an enormous compound in Austin in which he would keep this like harem of living incubators for himself.
What?
I think,
What?
boy.
So the weirdest part about this is that no one, to my understanding, no one alleges that he like tried to have sex with them. Like, he's not interested in like banging these like hot, extremely dumb 20-year-olds. He's like, no, what I want is your body as a mechanism by which I can create the new Roman Empire.
Yeah, basically some shit like that. Like it is a breeding
And you're all
king.
gonna live in my literal cult mansion where you can just have kids off rip. You like have kids, immediately get pregnant again, have kids. He told Tiffany Fong, as part of them talking about having a child, he needed to get a lot more women so he could spread his seed faster.
Ugh. My
Actually,
God.
I should correct what I said a second ago. He doesn't have a breeding kink. He has a breeder kink. That's his kink, is to be a breeder. The breeder, that's terrible. That's
Wow.
awful.
Good stuff, dude.
That's bad.
All of us are firing on all cylinders today.
That one's rough. Anyway, this sucks, right? Like, this is the worst shit I've ever heard. Next to, the other worst shit I've ever heard that just keeps happening, like, day after day. It's just an endless onslaught of what I call bad slop. Just every day, there's just news that comes out that is just worse and worse than the previous thing. But no, this is like, I need people to understand how much of a fucking creep this guy is. Imagine being the type of loser that you like lie about the video games you play and also want to keep like an incubating harem of women and kids that you don't care about.
He's what every Roman statue Twitter account wants to be, right? Like, and still fails, right? Like calling his kids the like legion of a Roman Empire or whatever, and wanting to like create little soldiers. He's insane.
But even when the kids he has, he doesn't like want to.
They hate him.
Either they hate him or he like doesn't want to be involved with them, like, or their medical care.
Because it's not about having kids. It's about getting your DNA into the world. It's about like, that thing where it's like, if you go back like, 8 or so generations, everyone's got some sort of relation to Attila the Hun or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants it to be like that. He wants it to be like, he is just this like all father for all of humanity within like X generations, where you can't avoid at least scraping your helixes against Elon Musk's DNA. Like, he has no want to actually raise a kid or improve the world at all. It's all about like breeding and grafts. And what these articles make clear is that he's like obsessed with like birth rate demos in such a way that he's like, why are there so many brown kids being made? Like, why is there so much fertility in like sub-Saharan Africa? Why is there so much fertility in like India? And here in America, our birth rates are declining. And it's like, well, a number of reasons, like easy access to contraception and, like a higher quality of life and like, but no, for him, it's like, we can't be outbred, and I'm going to solve it personally by breeding at 40 million times the rate of anybody else.
I think this is the grossest person in the world. Can I say that?
It's really fucking freaky.
I think he has officially earned the title of like the grossest freak in the world.
It is really strange that like currently American society is being driven by a guy who is pretty much explicitly using the office of the president to facilitate a series of pump and dump financial crimes, the money for which he distributes to a bunch of 20-year-old right-wing like Groyper accounts so that they will become fertilized with his seed every 9 months. Like, that's what's going on. Is like, we're running a crypto scam to fund Epstein Island breeding programs. Like, that's literally just what we're doing. And I don't know, man. It's fucking disgusting.
Don't want to breeze past it. You did say pump and dump and just,
too easy. Yeah, it's too easy.
Yeah, too easy, but I should have pointed it out. I think people would have been mad if I didn't.
I'm the lowest common denominator, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny, actually.
You're not supposed to
call me Peter Griffin because I like my denominators lowest. Shut up.
Dog. No, I don't even remember what I was going to say. I don't know, man. This is just freak as shit.
The craziest part is I'm looking down in this article posted from the Wall Street Journal and then reposted on MSN. Thank you for MSN. And it's an image of Elon Musk at this like AI convention in Saudi Arabia, where he is talking about how there's no future without babies. And he talks about it in the funniest and obviously weirdest and nastiest way, without babies, there's no future. Every problem becomes secondary to the problem of not having people on the planet. Elon believes, this is the other guy speaking. And then Musk says, I think for most countries, they should view the birth rate as the single biggest problem they need to solve. If you don't make new humans, there's no humanity, and all the policies in the world don't matter. Guys, brain genius here. He's
that's
true. True.
He's so smart.
The thing that is crazy about this is that, like, if you look at that statement in a vacuum at face value, there's like, yes, there is a point to that, right? Like, the world being populated in some way does matter, okay? But
sure,
this is not being said in the way where you could reach the next logical point of like, well, we should improve the standard of living. We should make it so, healthcare is more affordable. We should make it so childcare is able, we should make it so education matters so we could bring up like the next generation. Like there's all these next like logical humanitarian arguments you can make, but that's not what Elon is saying. He's not even viewing this from a humanitarian, like, your children should be cared for standpoint. It is spoken from a position of...
It's graphs. He's jacking off to graphs.
Yes. It is
He's like,
stated from a position of like, no, we need to facilitate childbirth from the people who will truly further humanity forward. Like this weird lineage shit. It's just so nasty, man. But my favorite thing is, of course, I love looking at blue check replies every once in a while because I hate myself. So on
do you?
On a tweet that, announces this, Wall Street Journal reports Elon Musk DM Tiffany Fong to request she have a baby with him when she declined to unfollow her and cut her Twitter premium payments, which were worth up to $21,000 every other week. And I see one reply that's, it's like Genghis Khan, but with spaceships, lying craft emoji. And it's,
Wow, that's awesome, dude.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
And then
wait a minute, that's a little freaking epic.
Is it true? Reddit gold.
But that's kind of freaking epic.
And then the other one, which I also love, because how can we not make this even more misogynist? Is this isn't true. No woman would turn down $15 million and $100,000 a month to have a baby. Yup.
I love this one. That's my favorite one because I'm sorry, like some men. And I mean this with all the love in my heart.
No, you don't. But
are
go ahead.
Gayer than gay men while being straight.
Yes.
How do you sit around all day and you're like, if Elon gave me money to accept his cum, then I would take it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but like I'm straight and everything. Like there's got to be a gay that's gayer than gay for these people. Legitimately, like fucking Twitter sexual people who. Are straight except for their favorite posters.
You know what? There's no dash sexual we can put behind it. You know what it is? It's just pathetic. It's just, if I was a hot woman, I'd have sex with Daddy Elon and bear his child to get all that sweet money. It's like...
I hate to be like this. If I was a hot woman, I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do that shit either.
You guys reminded me of the incredible post as a tangent, but very related, is when that guy replied to Elon and he's like, I remember pouring you a glass at a friend's house in San Francisco after another mutual friend's wedding.
Honey Badger eats what he wants to. One of the greatest posts of all time. I made the clutch move at 2 a.m. of ordering us pizza.
Exactly.
I am unfamiliar with this one.
Another. You didn't want to wait. Honey Badger drinks when he wants. That's the quote. Elon saying this. Joy emoji, raffle emoji. I made the clutch move of ordering us pizza at 1 a.m. Oh my God! Someone wrote the meat. Someone wrote the meat off this thing, bro.
Dog. I do remember this post.
I love it. I think it's really cool. I think it's good. I think it's like good as fuck.
It's like one of my favorite posts of all time. It's so good.
Honey Badger eats when he wants to. I made the clutch move of ordering us pizza at 2 a.m. Sometimes I will it'll be the middle of the night and I'll get myself a little snack and I'm like, this is such a clutch move. Holy shit. I'll go heat up a frozen TJ's meal and I'll be like, oh man, Honey Badger eats when he wants to.
Whenever I DoorDash $70 worth of Panda Express and open a Corona.
You're like the Pixar dad,
Yeah.
Oh man, Honey Badger eats Panda Express
Badger
whatever he
eats
wants.
This move is fucking clutch.
This move is so
Babe,
clutch.
get decanting. Get decanting.
Yeah.
It's really gross. I don't know. Obviously it's an intersection of the fact that America is just a nation that's running off of the lifeblood of scammers at this point. It's a testament to the fact that the people who are running the show, like, despite all of the terrible racism that comes along with the allegations that the world is run by like reptilians or whatever, there are a group of like inhuman freaks kind of at the center of all of this.
Yes.
They're all just like in Silicon Valley and have convinced themselves that like AI is going to make them some sort of poet god when they impregnate enough women to further the human race and be useful to them in 1,000 years. And you say that and you're like, that's of course a little more extreme than they actually believe, but it isn't. He's literally like, yeah, I'm building a compound for all of my breeding mares to live in so that I can use their wombs as necessary. To finance this, we're crashing the stock market repeatedly.
Back and forth, actually.
We need to raise Chinese tariffs by 100% so I can have my breeding compound. Like,
Oh,
that's
man.
what's happening! I'm saying that as a joke, but that's...
What if you gave people good working conditions? You are stupid. More tariffs.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Well, I don't know. It's fucking gross. It's disgusting, and it's the type of worldview you can only end up at after being too online while on too much ketamine. It's rough.
He's not even good at video games. Like, how are you so bad at being a dork
Okay, this
that
is an
you
Elon
don't
Musk
even play
tangent.
video games right?
Can we talk about how he went live on a plane
Yes!
and
That shit was so funny.
gamers rose up and told him some very mean words that we would say on Patreon if you subscribe?
That's true, yeah.
Oh,
We will say them on Patreon. To each other, probably.
yeah.
Imagine being like, oh no, I'm gonna go live on my plane, have like a look that what I can only describe as an incredible camera angle looking up at his chin while like a ton of gamers are telling him he should probably get rocks thrown at him. And that's me paraphrasing.
Yeah, like, you'll die
That's a fun
alone
one.
and no one loves you.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude. Like,
He's like choking out like the R slur. He's like, there's a lot of there's a lot of them on tonight. It's like, okay, dude.
He's like, whoo, man.
yeah.
You gotta stop, bro. You gotta log off.
yeah, dude. It's it's rough out there. You ready for the post?
Yup.
Oh boy, am I ever.
I love Reddit.
Oh man. Speaking of the scion of Reddit, let's talk about Reddit.
Let's do it.
So our first one comes. We have been sent this probably 100 times.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
comes from RAITAH, and I would say it's about 6 days old. They posted this the day after we record Will to kind of like, you know how Congress will sometimes pass things at midnight on a Friday to avoid the weekday news cycle? They stealth Friday'd this post so we wouldn't get to it.
Sure.
But we did get to it, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Here it is. AITAH for telling my boyfriend to change his clothes. All right. Here's the post. I, 20F, have been dating my boyfriend, 21M, for about a year. I thought things were going well, but there's one thing that he does that really bugs me. He is constantly wearing this orange varsity jacket. I think it's merchandise of some kind. It has a lot of branding on it. I don't have any issues with the rest of his clothes, but I've only ever seen him wear that jacket. He wears it on any and all occasion. I've mentioned to him before, I offered to get him a new jacket for his birthday, but he doesn't seem to need a new one. My breaking point was last week we were supposed to go on a date to a really nice restaurant. I spent a lot of time getting ready, and honestly, I felt good about how I looked, which isn't very regular for me, to be honest. Oh boy, okay, sheesh. When we met up, he was wearing the jacket, and it really upset me. I've mentioned I don't like him constantly wearing it before, and it felt like he ignored me or wasn't putting in the same amount of effort I was. He didn't have an explanation, and it seemed like he genuinely didn't understand the issue. He told me I was ruining our night and that it wasn't a big deal. At that point, I just walked away. My friend had driven me there, and luckily she hadn't left yet, so I had her drive me home. He texted and called me a lot, but he just kept asking me to explain myself, which pissed me off even more, so I stopped responding to him. At this point, I'm starting to feel like I'm the crazy one. Am I overreacting here? Okay, now before we talk about this, we all already know, but just for posterity's sake, I will post an image of the jacket.
Oh, good. Great.
It's just
Yep. It's awesome.
It's just so great, man.
So, dear
awesome.
viewer, this is, of course, the picture of the episode. You know where this is going. It is a Game Grumps branded jacket that has on the back an enormous GG, and it says, celebrating a decade of Game Grumps, 2012 to 2022. And on the front, it actually has the JonTron N-word compilation.
No.
Okay, no, it does
stop
not.
it.
No, it does not. No, I'm sure many people can intuit that. I don't know if all of us are, but I am like a fan of Game Grumps. Of course, you know, they're
Yeah.
great.
No,
I
I
am too.
fucking hate them.
No,
Oh,
you
okay.
don't.
No, you don't.
It's funny.
No,
He
I
says
don't.
that Joseph was the person who introduced me into Game Grumps. He was already watching prior to probably both.
Are you
me
ready for the
and
deep Joseph
Jordan.
lore?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
My number one inspiration for making videos is like 2010 JonTron
Yep.
videos.
Yep.
I was like,
of course.
one,
right?
it shows, I'm sure. And two, the thing is, his videos were so not edited. Like, there was no editing whatsoever. It was like, oh, anyone can do this. You just have to be kind of funny and snappy, right?
Which he
Yeah,
was.
and-
Like,
Which he
I'm
was,
sorry.
you know,
JonTron
I mean,
was funny. Like,
JonTron sucks.
But the other thing he was insanely Reddit.
Yes.
He was Reddit to a degree that I don't think anyone has been Reddit before or after, except for maybe Elon Musk. He was so unbelievably Reddit. But, you know,
but for the time, like, okay.
Reddit is one of the top websites on the planet, okay? So,
Hold on. For the time, first of all, okay, everybody knows by this point that JonTron is like a fucking weirdo freak, right? Like that.
Yes.
he's like a neo-Nazi now.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
exactly. He's a fucking
He's,
neo-Nazi.
he's,
He's a
he's
fucking-
one of the, like, one of those, like, non-white Nazis, you know?
Yeah.
The, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Aryan Soldier 1488, you're browner than I expected. He's like an Iranian guy who's like, we have to save the white race. What can I say?
Yeah, he's a freak. But it is sad that he's a freak because he used to be.
Yeah, it is.
He used to make very good videos. He used to be very funny. And it's just, it sucks. It sucks that's the case. But, you know, back in 2010, he was a type of Reddit that wasn't considered cringe. It was the type of Reddit that's like, if you're a nerd.
Well, maybe not by you.
Okay, well, like, if you're like a nerdy person, then you
Yeah,
find
yeah.
this kind of stuff funny. Like, these are the jokes that
To
land
be
with you.
clear, when Game Grumps started in 2012, I was like, oh, good. My favorite content creator, JonTron, is doing something with another content creator I like. This will be a lot of fun.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
it was.
I will
And
say,
it was.
despite the fact that Game Grumps has become kind of its own thing, you know, I don't hate it. I think it's fine. I think it's
Yeah.
fun. I think it's great. We went to, in like 2015,
Yeah.
Danny, we went to like a Game Grumps live,
No,
and it was
I mean,
a blast.
I personally am a very active fan. You know, like I still, you know, I'm not like as hype as I was when you know we were first watching.
Every
but
time Danny comes over
watch.
to hang out, he's like, have you seen the new Danganronpa playthrough?
That's not what I say. That's not
and
true.
I go, of course, because we all watch them together.
No, I
Well,
also still watch
that's
Game
how I
Grumps every
knew
once in a while.
the our other posts on the pod. Reminder. No, I've also played Danganronpa. I know, very bad of me. But no, you know,
Yeah, we can tell.
They're very, I mean, you know, they've grown a lot. They're their own thing now. And obviously, you know, Danny Sexbang, a part of Ninja Sex Party, is, you know,
I was a huge fan. I was a huge fan
Yeah.
of NSP before they sold out.
True.
Before they joined the Slop Grump Slop universe. And they were just making videos. I remember showing Danny in 2012, Danny in the call, the video where he fucks all the like household appliances.
Yeah.
That was one of my all-time favorite videos. Objects of Desire is the name of the song.
My personal favorite is No Reason Boner, which is an incredible song and hilarious.
In like
skit.
2009, that shit was like crack cocaine to like kids who just figured out what an erection was.
And like
Right,
they were
exactly.
very niche, right? Like NSP was really niche. We're talking like 10, 20K views on these videos.
They weren't huge.
They were not huge.
Yeah.
And now he's doing concerts. It's great. But to loop back to the post,
Yeah.
isn't it kind
that's
of
not
awesome?
all he's doing.
Let's clarify. This is a varsity jacket that was done 3 years ago. Okay. So they did
Yeah.
this on their anniversary. So this guy is still wearing this every day, probably since he
Okay,
pre-ordered
well, yeah,
it.
let's, now that we've done our defense of Game Grumps, I guess.
No,
Yeah,
I
Getting
I
out
was
of the allegations
explanation.
that we're theater kids or whatever.
Yeah.
I will say,
Big shocker.
yeah, oh, Joseph and Danny, like the video gamer? Yes, all right. Okay, no, but let's be clear. wearing YouTuber merchandise in public all the time does signify a very specific type of person, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you are that type of person, firstly, thank you for subscribing and supporting the channel.
We're gonna be we're making merch
secondly,
for Will the Councel. Please wear it. That's a lie. Sorry.
I'm sorry. No matter how good the Yu-Gi-Oh or no matter how good the merch is, even if it's incredible merch from the fine folks at pyramid.com, you can't wear it for every occasion.
I'm sorry.
This is a nice jacket. I could see like walking down the street in this, or you know, I could see bringing it to maybe like a business casual event, maybe. But like if you're getting dressed up for a nice night out, no, you cannot wear the Game Grumps jacket. I'm sorry.
This is 1984. Actually, you hate men
look,
too.
I'm about to. That's true.
Yeah.
The thing I'm about to say is actually something that I really don't say very often. I reserve this for very specific scenarios. I think if I'm doing the math right, he probably got this jacket, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years ago. So he was under 20 when he got this thing. At some point, in certain ways, you just have to grow up, you know? And it's like, that sucks. That's a very mean thing to say in a lot of ways.
You guys suck. This sucks. I'm out of here.
I like the Game Grumps varsity jacket. This thing looks cool as hell. It's sleek. It's orange
nice
and black.
jacket.
Well, why don't you just twist the knife in my heart?
Growing up here doesn't. Sorry to speak on your behalf, peeps.
No,
but
I know what you're
to
about
be
to say.
Clear,
You're right.
Yeah, when you say grow up, you don't mean stop watching Game Grumps or enjoying video games. You mean respecting the fact that in certain social situations there is a moray that demands that you look nice.
Yes.
And it's the same thing as like ordering macaroni and cheese at a fancy restaurant. It's the same thing as like getting pissy when you have to like clean your fucking room as an adult. It's like, I'm sorry, part of growing up is understanding if your partner puts a lot of effort into something and wants to look nice, you have an obligation to look nice as well, even if it means taking off your gamer merch.
Yes, and not just looking nice
for a night,
but match their vibe, right? They want to go out to a nice place.
Yes.
Get some nice clothes, you know, at least something that looks nice. It's something that's not the gamer bomber jacket. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's just like, you can't always wear the gamer varsity jacket. I know you're a fan. And it's great that you have like a creator or like something that you can watch and enjoy that you love. It's awesome. I think it's great that you bought their merch. I think it's great that you still like them. I think it's great that you still like, you know, love wearing the jacket or whatever. That's fine. But you can't. Like, you have to, there's a time and a place. And the nice date is not the place for the YouTuber gamer merch. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to be Mr. Pushback here, okay? Mr. Hold Up, okay? I understand that.
Yeah, big fucking surprise.
Yeah. Big surprise game.
I know you're the guy from this fucking post. You don't have to. We know it.
Very funny. No, there's a couple things that rub me the wrong way, and I want to discuss them.
Yeah, sure.
The first thing I want to discuss is that clearly, like, this person doesn't know, couldn't even, like, tell you what it was. Right, this guy wears this all the time, and they're
That's a good point.
Clearly together.
Good point.
And she's just like, whatever. I don't even think she knows it's like YouTuber merch, like, because we know that, sure, but like to her, it's just a jacket, just like an orange jacket she doesn't like, right? And so like I understand that sometimes it's necessary to change out your jacket or whatever. But like, I do think it is a little strange to be like, I don't know, he wears this dumb jacket, I hate it, and like he won't change. And I asked him to, and I said like I'll buy you a new one, which is like kind of mean, by the way. Like personally, I think,
my God,
it's a little mean to be like, regardless if it's YouTuber merch or not. Like, let's say you have a favorite jacket, you just like it. It's like a normal jacket. There's obviously a lot of preference in that it's like a YouTuber merch. I want to put that to the side for a second because to her, it's a jacket. And so if someone was like, this is like my favorite jacket, I like wearing it a lot, and then she was like, well, I'll buy you a new one, is like, okay, ouch. Like, I kind of like my jacket, actually, like a lot.
Okay, I want to be clear. You're talking about this like she's like, you need to get rid of the jacket.
Yeah, but that's exactly what she's implying. Yes, she is saying, get rid of it.
No, what she's saying is, why are you wearing the same jacket for every single thing? Do you need another one? I can get you another one. maybe it's passive aggressive, but I think that
Sure.
I think it could go either way. And then he is refusing to, like, she's like, could you please wear something else? And he's like, no.
Oh,
Like,
whoa,
is
whoa,
that
that's not what
not-
happens.
Okay.
They're going on a date. She does not say, hey, could you not wear that jacket?
I'm not
This
talking
is-
about the date. I'm not
Oh,
talking
okay.
about the date. I'm saying about the sentences. I've mentioned this to him before, but he just doesn't seem a need for a new one. And I've mentioned I don't like him constantly wearing it before, and he ignored me.
Sure. I get that. I can concede on that for sure. I think that when your partner is like,
I'm going to make a creative read here,
sure.
which is a lot of people, I think, are being like, you don't even know what it's from. I'm going to be honest. I would not be surprised if she asked what it's from and he didn't tell her. Like, she was like, why is this jacket special to you? And he said something like, oh, it's just a jacket I like. Like, I would not.
For a year?
I can see
We had
it.
to spend 15 minutes getting it out in front of the Game Grumps allegations. All right. There is a certain level of cringe associated with wearing YouTuber merch. Maybe he was like, she'll think I'm not cool if I tell my new hot girlfriend I've been wearing the Game Grumps merch for a year.
Okay, but on that logic, why would he continue to wear it with no regard?
That is
I
also
don't
true.
know, man. I could not tell you.
That is also true.
I just find it
The unfortunate
strange.
truth of this is there is a really easy solution, which is for the guy to just be like, dude, why are you wearing it everywhere?
Yes.
Like, clearly you could just meet her halfway on this and wear it
Yeah.
90% of the time.
Right. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, and I also want to step in and say, Danny, I like that train of thought.
I don't want to be like, oh, like it's epic to wear YouTuber merch or whatever. I just
Danny,
wanna,
I
like,
hate you. Die.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I like your train of thought because if I could reach the logical endpoint of, or reach the endpoint where I think you were getting to like the point where, okay, this guy clearly has an interest and really, really likes something. He wears it every day, and she doesn't even like know what this is from. And Joseph, I know you brought this up too, but I just want to hammer the point home that Danny was bringing up, where it's like, it is really kind of a red flag that this guy that you're dating enjoys something so much or has this very specific interest that he wears this jacket basically everywhere and you don't even know what it's about. Okay. And sure, we could go along with the creative reading theory that he's like kind of embarrassed about it. But I think that is also
To be clear,
debunked
she
by the
does ask him and says he doesn't really have an explanation for it. That makes me
That
feel
is
like he's
weird
being a little
too.
cagey and playing it close to the chest about like why he likes the jacket, which of course the answer is he likes Game Grumps.
yes. And
Sure. Wait, okay, hold on. Crazy read. What if he has no idea what Game Grumps is?
Oh,
What
like
if
a
he's
friend
a
got it
fake
for him and he's
fan?
like, I gotta play it.
Yeah, no, or like, yeah, he just like found it on eBay and he was like, whoa, this looks nice.
Yeah, he wears it and a bunch of people are like, dude, I love your shirt. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll keep wearing it. It must look nice.
it's just a fake fan.
Yeah,
That's
he's not
the
even a
best
fan. He just
theory.
found the like jacket at like a thrift store or on eBay or something.
That would be so funny.
That's the best theory. Okay. Well, ignoring that very awesome
Aw.
theory that I wish was true, there are a couple things here that is just like, they've only been dating for a year. They're still young. There's some immaturity here. And I think the immaturity at play is from
Yeah,
both
that's
ends,
true.
where she is not telling him, like, if it's about something like she's never looked it up before, right? Until now, where it's
She
a
has
problem.
no reason to think it's even merch. She
Yeah.
could be like, oh, it's just his Letterman's jacket.
Yeah.
Like, why would it even need an explanation? It's just his Letterman's jacket.
And he is not, mature enough to be like, oh, this is like a YouTuber that I watch, because it's just like, like he doesn't need to be embarrassed about his interests, or he doesn't feel confident to be non-embarrassed about his interests. I don't know. Basically, what I'm getting at is there is a level of maturity between this somewhat young couple in this somewhat new and budding relationship that has not been like breached yet, right? And
I mean, we can't sidestep it that much. They are 20 and 21.
Exactly.
They're
That
young.
is true. That's a good point.
And the post says about a year, right? So
Sure.
I would even say that,
Like 9 months.
maybe this is like
10.
9-10 months they've been together. So this
And
is
he's
still
been wearing
very
it
new.
since day one.
Yeah. Ultimately, yeah, should the poster have maybe been a bit more inquisitive, asked about what it was? But I think Joseph is right in the sense that she didn't even know it was something worth asking about. It's just a jacket that he liked.
yeah.
Ultimately, I think it really does fall on the guy to understand, like, you have to not wear this thing all the time. You're 21, like, start
Right.
wearing more
I can
mature
absolutely
clothing.
agree on that.
Well, not even wear more mature clothing. Just, read the room.
Right.
When
like,
you're going
just,
on a nice date at a nice restaurant, you got to wear something nice.
Right.
Yeah.
And like if it's like the same thing over and over and she's tried to kind of like lightly push like, hey, like I would like you to, dress up a little bit for this event, or, could you wear something else once in a while, whatever. And he just kind of doesn't talk about it or doesn't explain. It's really hard to do that. And I get it. I just wanted to make sure we didn't just go all in.
I'm happy you didn't breeze past that, because I think it is a good point, and I think it does apply for this. I've also come up with a new theory that the guy is a never nude for the Game Grumps jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Never nude.
But he can never be photographed without a Game Grumps like hoodie on, right?
Yeah. He's like not wearing it, but then somebody goes to take a picture and it suddenly just like congeals itself on him. It mystically appears in the photo.
Yeah, it's like the Venom suit, but it makes you say N-words for the compilation.
Shut up!
Dude. Stop.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no. Are you guys ready to vote?
Yeah.
Decision time.
All right, when it comes to this woman, is she the asshole for making her boyfriend change his clothes? Danny?
Man, why do you have to start with me?
Yeah, I know.
Because
Ooh.
you're the only one who's even got a remotely interesting position.
That's fair.
Okay.
Okay. It is a little, I guess I'll say against the grain here. Not with you guys. I think I've come to mostly terms with it. As per usual, most of these conversations are, why don't you just talk to your partner? But they're new,
Yeah,
they're
holy
young,
shit.
whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Just fucking talk to him. But
Yeah.
regardless, she could have approached this a little better. She could have done XYZ. But I do think that this guy, I don't think you are an asshole for telling your boyfriend to change his clothes. I think that is okay. It can be hard to hear. It can be like, what are you, his mom? Like, whatever, like he's an adult, yada yada, a very Redditors responses. But I do think that to have a good relationship, you talk to your partner and you're like, okay, like what's up? Like, I really love this jacket. I would really like to keep wearing it. If that upsets you, I would like to talk to you about it, because I really do love this. And it's kind of like the only jacket I really like wearing, but we don't know. And so from that perspective, and the way he kind of just doesn't explain it, comes by, same thing. And she's just kind of like, whatever. Like, I'm fed up with it. And I get it. I think you are not an asshole for telling your boyfriend to change his clothes. Some of the things she's done, not my favorite, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan?
Yeah, I agree with all that. But basically, like, you know what? You're 21, man. Sometimes the bright green Hyrule hoodie and the cargo shorts aren't the place for the nice date. So
This sucks.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I'm taking
No,
off my
that's a
khakis
tried and true
right now.
fit.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
She's not the asshole for asking.
It's going to be a 3-0, baby. I think the same. I will say, it is a great opportunity to have a conversation with your partner about some stuff they like. But even if she gets to know what the Game Grumps are, I think it is not too ridiculous to be like, dress nice for the nice date, please.
Yeah, exactly.
To put a pin on it, there's a, at the end, she kind of leaves the date, right? And is kind of an asshole about that. And instead of, again, talking to your partner. But we're here to answer the core of, like, you're not an asshole for telling my boyfriend to change his clothes. I think she's done some kind of, like, young, stupid stuff, which is, like, understandable considering this situation.
I do like Reddit is going crazy, baby.
Yes, they're going nuts on
the
this
comments
one.
are like, funny how you've been dating this guy a year and yet you have no clue what the jacket is. You seem a little self-absorbed. And it's like, all right.
That's why I wanted to talk about it, because I do think that there is a flood, and it's hard to gauge people's opinions on this, especially when...
Yeah, why would Reddit really like Game Grumps? I can't imagine.
All right, I can't beat that. Just go to the next
Yeah,
one.
we got it. There's nothing to say. There's nothing.
Man. I will say she does update it, and she's like, hey, I found the jacket. I didn't know it was Game Grumps merch. I guess that's probably my fault. I apologize, but it is clearly inappropriate for a date. And then post it, and it's like, that's all true. Yeah, that's all.
that's
All true.
yeah,
That's all true.
The council has spoken.
All right, next one. Will I be the asshole? Public. This one rocks. It's kind of the inverse of a story that we had on a couple of days ago. Now, this is, am I the asshole for, quote, abandoning, end quote, my girlfriend and newborn son by going through SEAL training?
No, you're not the asshole. It's okay when men do it. There you go. All right, there you go,
okay,
misogynist.
there you go.
I got that one for you.
Thank God.
Just kidding.
Oh, sorry that I love America. Sorry
Yeah,
that I want to
Jesus.
protect our borders.
Yeah.
My bad. I guess I should apologize for being a hero.
Yeah.
By the way, he's not talking about Navy SEALs. He's talking about like, he's going to slap his belly and get real fat.
We found the alt burner account of that. Was it the autistic girl who's in a Navy?
Yeah, the autistic girl whose hyperfixation was Empire.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm looking for an autistic shorty who identifies as the machine that is Empire. All right, let's get this going. I am 23, just got through BUDS to become a SEAL. Oh,
Her
jeez,
pronouns are
just say what it is.
No, I'm sorry. That sucks. Dude, that sucks.
That's awesome,
Dude, that one was great. That one was, put that in the compilation by all the N-words. That's going crazy. Holy shit. All right, here we go. It was the toughest stretch of my life, physically and mentally, but I pushed through because I believed in what I was doing for myself and for my future family. God, we get it, right?
We get.
Every person who does this shit is always like, it was so freaking tough and it took a mental toll on me that you will never understand, but I did it for the future of this nation. It's like, get to the fucking point,
Yeah,
dog.
shut up.
We know you sacrificed. Thank you so much for doing so.
This is the other version of the like romantic post we read. We were like writing a romance novel, but instead they're joining the military.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My girlfriend, 21, and I had been together for 3 years when she got pregnant. All right, do a little addition and subtraction there. Oh no, wait,
21.
she got pregnant at 21, but they started dating at 18. Okay, no big deal.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't planned, but we did decide to keep the baby. At the time, I was already locked into the pipeline. I told her from the start I wouldn't be able to be around for most of the pregnancy or even the birth. She said she understood. Maybe she thought it wouldn't be that hard, but it was the hardest freaking thing I had to do. So, no, or maybe she just wanted to believe it'd be okay. Either way, I went in. I missed the birth. I wasn't there for any of the hospital, the first night, nothing. I found out a couple of days after, during one of the few times I got access to my phone. It hit me hard, but I had to compartmentalize and keep moving. I had to keep moving, soldier.
Keep moving, soldier.
Okay.
Ignore your baby.
Now that I'm past training and waiting for orders. Now that I am. Sorry, I'm done. That's the last one.
Please stop.
Now that I'm past training and waiting for orders, I've had more orders. Yes, sir. Zotai. Okay, that's the last one. I've had more time to talk to her, and things aren't good. She's dealing with postpartum depression, overwhelmed, barely sleeping. Every time we talk, she ends up crying. She says she feels like I abandoned her and our son. She tells me she's alone, that I left her to do everything by herself while I went off to chase a dream. I don't blow her off. I stay on the phone as long as I can. That's good. That's yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
I talk
dude.
her through whatever she needs. I've been sending money and trying to help however I can from a distance, but it never feels like enough. She says I should have stayed, that real men don't leave their families behind. Her dad even told me to my face that I'm selfish, that I wanted a cool title more than being a father. I didn't walk away because I didn't care. I went through hell over the last year to set us up long term. I'm earning steady pay, full health care, housing, bennies. That is true. It's great bennies.
Yeah.
Everything I never had growing up. I didn't want to be a part-time dad with nothing to offer. I wanted to be someone my son can look up to who made the hard choices for the right reasons. Who knew what he had to do was tough and did it anyway. Do I feel guilty for not being there? Yeah, I think about it every day. But do I regret going through with it? No, I did what I believed was necessary, even if it's not appreciated right now. Am I the asshole?
Okay.
I mean, like,
maybe I need some clarification.
yeah.
What is BUDS? Like got through BUD/S to become a SEAL. Is that like a boot camp or something?
It's basic underwater demolition / SEAL school.
Oh.
It's a 24-week A school.
I see. Got it. And so he is a part of the SEALs? Like he is a part of the like that division, right?
I think he is a Navy SEAL. Yes, I
He
think
is a
he went
Navy
through
SEAL.
training
Okay.
to become a Navy SEAL.
He's
yes.
waiting for orders.
Oh,
yeah.
I
yeah.
see. So waiting for orders. I just want to make sure I knew where he was because like it sounded like he was in the middle of stuff and that he couldn't stop. But I guess like he's just doing this. No one knows how long, when he'll be back.
Yeah, let
Nothing.
me just try and talk about the timeline. Is it okay that I jump in
Please
here,
do.
Danny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Set it out for us.
So, all right, let me just try and figure this because my girlfriend and I have been together 3 years and she got pregnant, was a plan, decided to keep the baby. At the time, I was already locked into the pipeline. I want to just hammer down on that.
Right.
Because the timeline, I think, is very important for me to decide who is actually in the wrong here. If he is already like recruited and signed up to be in the military or like signed up to do this training and he can't
He talks
not
about
do
making
it.
the tough decision here,
Yeah.
but did he have much of a decision at all?
That's the thing. Like, did
Exactly.
he have a choice? Like, was he already like? I mean, if you sign up for the military, it's not like you'd be like, ah, never mind. You know, like you signed up, you enlisted, you're gonna go. You know, but you know, the very obvious two paths here are if she was pregnant and you know he just made this decision to go. And he didn't have to, and he could have stayed home and been present for them, then yeah, I think that's a really shitty thing to do that he did that. But if he had already made the call to join the military or go through this training or whatever, and by the time that they found out that she was pregnant, then I think there's a big difference there, right?
Yeah. No, you're right. It's really important to know when, that timing.
Yeah. I just, it's hard because with the previous post, the two of them already had a family. You know, they already had a family. They already had, they were had a situation set up. Oh, look, I have to relate it back to the post because that is the obvious cognitive dissonance that's going to be pointed at us with whatever decision we make here, right? So I'm not trying to do it in the sense of, getting out ahead of the comments or whatever. That's not what I'm doing. I'm doing it because that is the previous scenario we have talked about that is most analogous to the one we're talking about right now. So the difference there with the previous one is that they already had a family, they already had a setup, and for her to be like, oh, I'm joining the military and leaving you for however many months or whatever, it's like, well, that is an asshole thing to do because, this was not an understanding that was going to happen in their relationship at the start of it. But if this has already been an understanding that this guy was going to join the military and it just, they found out they were pregnant at a really unfortunate time, then it sucks, but he did have to go. However, if they found out she was pregnant and he then decided to become a Navy SEAL or whatever, yeah, that super sucks. I'm sorry that you think you need to do this right thing for your family and make the hard choice and blah, blah, blah. No, you didn't. You didn't have to leave. I'm sorry. You didn't have to do that.
This one is really hard for that reason.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was he was already locked in, which he says he was. Right. It's no, man, that's it. That's, then you're locked in. Then then the question is, should we have kept the baby? That's the only thing even worth talking about because what are you gonna do? Fucking leave?
Yeah.
They're talking about it in the comments and they're like, listen, I know some people who are spouses of Navy SEALs. They relocate frequently. Your life is upended every 2 to 3 years. Apparently, there is over a 90% divorce rate for Navy SEALs.
Oh, my God.
For these reasons. There's popular trope of military wives, getting fucked behind their partner's back for a reason, Yeah. It sucks to not see someone you love for fucking ever. And the people in here are there will be 9-month periods where you're just not going to see this guy. I imagine she was probably caught up in kind of the grandeur of the thing in the same way that he was. It is a heroic profession, as the guy is kind of pointing out, in that, it is drilled that you become a hero upon doing it.
Right.
But it also is not really complementary to a healthy, stable marriage where you get to see each other all the time. And so, I don't know. I feel like if she was I know we won't be around each other that much, I can handle it, I promise. And they were like, okay, it's going to be tough, but we'll go through it together. Then they find out they're pregnant and it changes everything. That is an awful situation. It's really bad, but he can't leave. You can't just walk out of the military. They put you in jail.
Yeah. This is a thorny one simply because it really is just the timeline for me.
Let me take some clarification here. Was she 18 when they had the baby again?
No, she's 21. She was 21.
She's 21 when she had the baby, but they got together when she was 18.
They'd been dating for 3 years. Yeah.
Okay. So she was 18. He was 20 or whatever. Sure. Not crazy. And so
no, I think he was 19. I hate to be like this,
19,
but it's clearly
right.
A guy recruited out of high school, right?
Yeah.
Recruited out of high school, proposes to another 18-year-old, and they're like, we're gonna make it work, right? It seems like a pretty safe bet.
Okay, I can't get past my own personal framing on this, so I'm just gonna talk from a place of
Sure.
I'll just talk from my own personal space. I'm sorry, joining the military is not this super heroic, whatever. Yeah, thank you for your service or whatever. And I hope I don't offend any military personnel by, saying this. But yes, you're making sacrifices, but you're not a fucking person that I'm gonna like lay down a red carpet for you, you know? Like, yes, you joined the military, and I thank you for doing that, but the world doesn't like halt for you, you know? If you go through the SEAL training and you join the military and the wife finds out that it's not gonna work, like this lifestyle just isn't gonna work for her, she just refuses to be a depressed mess and like, you know, not have her husband present, then like, yeah, it makes sense. I'm sorry. Like,
right,
she can do that. She can leave.
And in doing so, like, yeah, you are kind of an asshole. I want to pinpoint his last sentence. Do I feel guilty for not being there? Yeah. Right? Like, he knows, he feels guilty about it. Even though he's like, do I regret it? No, sure, of course. You don't regret doing all the work and stuff. Of course not. Like, you did it, whatever. But you know, you feel guilty because you like, you know, like you're missing your child's birth. Like your wife is alone. Like it sucks.
Yeah.
It's like he knows he has let this woman down in a way that is potentially unrecoverable, right?
Yeah.
But he also knows that by sticking with his current obligation, which to our understanding, he has to do,
Apparently.
he is going to continue to let her down constantly. Like, I think it is a pretty valuable question to be like, is this something you can live with? This person is not your wife. She's your girlfriend.
Yeah.
You've had a child together, which is, you know, a lot. That's a big fucking deal. But do you think you will be able to be together in a meaningful capacity throughout the entirety of your time with the Navy SEALs? And do you think that like it's going to work out for the pair of you? And from what he's told us, I just can't imagine that's the case.
There is something that I want to, you know, speak when I sort of jumped in with that sort of harsher, you know, more transparent tone. It's just because you're in the military does not mean that you're like, you know, your wife is a bad person for leaving you, you know?
Yeah.
That's going to sound really shitty to people, but if you go off to the military and it's not working, if it is hard, like it is undue stress to be a parent, it is not the obligation of the woman you're with to maintain that stress. Like, that's really rough, but I'm sorry. Like that's just not, it's not how it works. You know, somebody is not sentenced to a life of single parenting because you're a military hero. Like, no, you're not.
I hate to be like this. There is some stuff you could be doing that you aren't doing. Like, if you sincerely want a permanent life with this woman, you have to get married to her because military spouses get better benefits than a girlfriend would.
Good point.
Like, she doesn't have like the support system that she would get as a military spouse because you're like, I don't know if it's, you know, there's a million reasons you wouldn't get married, but like, it's like having a kid is a big deal. And it's one of those like line in the sand moments. It's like, are we locked in? Is this forever? If so, you know, let's make the call now. And man, I really do not envy this guy's position.
I don't. Yeah. Me neither.
But I am ready to vote.
I will just say, I have to even jump on what you said there too. Like, what you're saying there is marriage based on like convenience or obligation, you know? That's just another thing that
asshole. Welcome to America. Do you know how many people get married for the insurance reasons?
Okay, I agree, but like, I understand that. But like, yeah, like a big driving factor for them to get married would be like, oh, well, the military benefits. And that's just another thing that kind of sours the relationship by this decision to enlist.
Okay, well, yes, that's fair. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is the guy is wrestling with a feeling of guilt based on his inability to be there for the woman. But there are things he could be doing to provide for the woman that he isn't.
Let me clarify. That was not a position of disagreement. I'm just like, also further
You're just
saying,
kind of,
adding on
bemoaning
to
the
it.
situation.
Correct. Thank you. That's what I'm getting at.
All right. Y'all ready to call this one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Decision time.
When it comes to this guy, will he be the asshole, or was he the asshole, I suppose, for abandoning his girlfriend and newborn son, Jordan?
It just depends on the timeline for me. If they both found out that she was pregnant and he decided to enlist afterwards, I think that's a huge asshole move. I understand that military benefits you get, you know, education benefits and all that, they're a big deal, but you have to understand that you are going to be leaving your partner for a significant amount of time, and it's a very hard lifestyle, which could be perceived as abandonment, and rightly so by some people. So it just depends. If it was after, then yes. If it was beforehand and he was locked in, then I guess not.
Danny?
Listen, this is a tough situation for him. I don't envy him. And It sucks. Some of the benefits he mentioned are definitely true, but I do think that I don't know enough to know the context of how he enlisted, why he enlisted, yada, yada. I will say, even if he was like locked in or whatever, I do think he is an asshole for pretty much kind of upending the life of his partner or his girlfriend. I do think that it's hard, and it's like not a hard one, like not a hard asshole, like so easy. Like I think it's like the lots of decisions that had to be quote unquote made, and I think that there's stuff he could have done to make it better for her, and she's going through a lot, and I think that like at the end he feels guilty for doing this and leaving his partner, and so it's like, what else can I say? He was just a bit of an asshole. I think I can understand if people were like, no, he was stuck with it. There's not much you can do. She agreed to it. I understand that. I still think that decisions that I'm going to join the Army and Navy, etc., SEALs is not a light one or an easy one and requires way more than this. And I get that there's this pipeline of guys who convince young kids and high schoolers and whatever to try and do it, and I don't know that. I don't know if this is what happened to him, but it seems likely, and of course that sucks. So trying to wrangle all that and still be like, at the end of the day, you made the decision to be a part of the SEALs and or this Army, and you got your girlfriend pregnant, and now she has to be a pretty much single mom, and that sucks, and you feel guilty about it. That's it.
Yep. I think this is going to be the first 1-1-1 in Will history, with Danny on asshole, Jordan on a superposition between asshole and not asshole.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that he is not an asshole.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I get it.
For a lot of the reasons that Danny just stated, I think that I think if there's one real criminal in this one, it's just sort of a sense of general naivety.
Yes.
The fact that they got together so young, they thought everything was going to be okay with the fucking power of love, that neither of them understood the amount of work that a pregnancy will be. None of them understood the amount of abandonment that you will feel when your spouse is away as part of the military. All of them just sort of believed that they could make it work, and now it's becoming clear they can't. I don't think he's the asshole because they came to this consensus together. They knew it would be hard, but wanted to tough it out. I do think, unfortunately, it is probably time to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, regardless of if he is at fault or not, it's clearly not working. And like, step one, of course, get some counseling, try and get her the benefits that she is owed to a degree. Step two, I mean, you might just come to the consensus that it doesn't work for the pair of you. And much better to get out of the picture now than just string her along for these weird 9-month periods where you are or are not deployed.
Yep.
Awful situation that, thousands of people find themselves in every year, and it's just like they picked, obviously it's so easy to play Monday morning quarterback on this, but
of course
they picked every most naive choice they could have, and these are the consequences to that, is like a situation that seems absolutely unsolvable.
Yep.
So like, it is rough. I mean, I think I could have come down either way. I just like,
I get it.
I'm going to say not an asshole, but regardless, I feel bad for everyone involved. The mom and the dad and the kid. It's really rough.
I do too.
Yeah. Understandable.
If the listeners haven't figured it out, I have very conflicted feelings about the military.
He actually is a Navy SEAL,
That's
or at
true.
least that's what we're telling the Protector app.
Yeah.
The Council has spoken.
All right, we had a toughie. Of course, I'm speaking about the Game Grumps one. But now it's time to get to one that I think is gonna really tickle our fancy. This comes from Best of Redditor updates, but the original post is under a month old. Original post says, "My counselor sent me links on why I should not do yoga."
Awesome.
True, I guess.
True. What can I say?
First and foremost, we have to say truth, Nuke. But my counselor, actually, my therapist sent me a link that said I shouldn't be getting on the exercise bike or treadmill.
Yeah.
And also they said that I don't need to be counting calories.
Yeah, my counselor said that a box of vanilla wafers is actually healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a real example. My therapist sent me a link to one of those like habit creation sites to like be better about waking up in the morning.
Awesome.
Oh, I thought it was a site that created a habit. You type in smoking and they're like, smoke.
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 It's a Family Guy joke. We're really nailing it
Real
today.
good
Folks,
today.
Yeah.
We are so lucky there's a fucking Family Guy.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I mentioned to my counselor in our last session that I started yoga and was loving it for my mental health. I then received an email from her with links.
Knew it!
First off, she feels threatened. She feels threatened.
Oh, you threatened because her mental health is gonna be better because it's her therapist.
I received an email from her with links as to why Christians should not do yoga and that it invites evil spirits.
Oh my god, dude. What can
First
I say
up,
but
truth
true?
nuke. Truth nuke. Truth nuke. Truth nuke. Oh my god. This is probably going up on the Friday? What's Friday? It's Holy Friday?
I don't
Good
know, man.
Friday, right? I'm pretty sure.
Is today Ash Wednesday?
Actually, it might be. Good Friday is this Friday. That is literally this Friday as of us recording.
You tell me this shit is going up on Good Friday and we got to talk about this? All right, here we go.
Awesome.
I am a Christian, but that isn't something that's a part of our counseling sessions. I love she's like, I could just smell it on you. It felt like it was out of line to send me that, and I'm not sure how I should respond at all or if I should let it go. It was really off-putting. Update, she is an LMFT. That's a licensed medical fucking therapist.
True.
My husband and I were doing couples therapy. I did express that it was out of bounds and I don't feel comfortable. She apologized, but missed the point. She could have gone about it in a better way. I had no idea I would click on a video link that said, "You are opening demonic doors, warning against yoga."
Truth hurricane. Truth thunderstorm.
The most banger title I've ever seen.
Okay, so I have to ask you, do you think she's right? Do you think it's opening up a demonic door to evil
absolutely.
spirits to
Yes,
take control of your body?
You are opening
Yes.
by relaxing your mind. You're opening your mind vagina and letting the devil's dick enter you.
And by the way,
Thank you.
why are you an adult getting into something called the child's pose?
That's
right?
true. That's true.
Like, we need to talk about the pedophilic origins.
Honestly,
I don't know, like, what is this? Where is this coming from? Is it because yoga is like vaguely like non-Western? Like it's like associated with like Hinduism or something?
hey,
I don't know.
Joseph, are you
Maybe.
ready? Yes.
Oh, wow.
100%. That is exactly.
Is that literally
Yes,
it? You're inviting
that
a
is-
demon into your body, and the demon is just like a chill ass Indian guy who's like, hey.
Yes. It is rooted in like Middle Eastern racism. Yes,
Wow.
that is exactly what it is. Middle
Well,
Eastern
I do
and
agree
anti-Asian
in that
sentiment.
case. I didn't know
100%.
if she was being racist. I thought she was just being crazy.
So, okay, she probably wasn't. Okay, part of this is like, because you're doing like mindfulness techniques, and this actually goes beyond just yoga. There's a lot of this sort of like natural healing, holistic mental health stuff, whether it be yoga or whatever.
Yeah,
that
the type
is
of
sort
shit that your boss is like, that's our healthcare plan, is
Yeah,
you get on an
right.
app and meditate for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
By the
true.
way, tangent. Has that ever happened to any of you guys where your like company has like
A mindfulness program? Absolutely.
Well, mindfulness programs, like specifically we had like meditation you could join like once a day at the office. And like I would do it because, all my coworkers were doing it. And they're like, come on, it'll be fun. I'm like, all right, sure, whatever. They're like, okay, so now you're going to relax. And it's like, you're going to put your head down. And I'm like, oh, lady, it's over. I'm sleeping. And I would
Z. It's like, actually, this actually was very helpful. It's like, and you're gonna let out some words of affirmation, whatever comes to your mind. I'm gonna kill my boss.
like 30 minutes in, she's like, it wasn't too long. It was like 25, 30 minutes or whatever. And she was like, if you fall asleep, that's completely okay. It just means you're relaxed.
Good
and
night.
I was like, thank
Good night.
you. Sorry, continue with. I agree, and you're right. That does make sense. There's a lot of holistic kind of energy / like kind of natural healing to that the roots come from for stuff like yoga and things like that.
Yes, by embracing sort of natural and like mental health holistic healing, you're inviting, you're clearing your mind for demons to enter. Like, this is a legitimate thing people believe.
so
I'm
true.
not joking.
That's
It's
crazy.
literally
it's
true.
crazy.
Me,
True
when I'm like,
thunderstorm.
when my boss is like, you need to open your mind so you can more effectively synergize workforce techniques, and you're like, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
I'll do that, and then you hear, I am Baal, ruler of Satan. You are now my puppet.
Do you think when you do like the downward facing
Go
dog,
to HR and shit on their desk.
when you do the downward facing dog, a portal opens in the like triangle you've created, and all you can hear is
Yeah.
like.
This rocks.
Kill babies, kill babies, kill babies.
Boss, I've got one really specific idea that I just can't get out of my head.
Do you have any kids? Okay, they're bad. No, this is a real thing that people believe. I'm just going to actually get away from the ridiculousness of it. This is a horrible breach of, like,
Yeah.
therapist-client relationship.
hell?
Like, this is so...
Well, okay,
this
so
is
I don't think it's I don't think it's that big of a breach of like the therapist-client relationship, but I do think
okay.
it's an immediate like red flag as to the fact that your therapist is a crazy person.
Correct. Yes.
Like, I have no problem with therapists that are like, this was very helpful to me, and then they send you a TEDx talk that you kind of roll your eyes at,
That's
like whatever.
different. That's not what's
But, like,
happening here.
Well, she sent her a YouTube video, and it was a crazy lady saying you're becoming demonic. So what you've learned there is that the therapist is insane.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, I guess I see what you're saying. It's just like, it's just funny that like it wasn't like she asked for help and sent you a TEDx video. It was, hey,
She didn't even say, can you help me about yoga? She was like, oh yeah, I've been doing yoga. And she's like, oh, that's cool. You're a demon now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that is so unsolicited, right? Like, it's
Yeah, that's
not
cool if you like losing control of your body to the Dark Lord Satan. Yeah, I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
That's where like I think the breach comes in when the therapist is like, unless it's literally like self-harm, which we know the therapist thinks this actually is, then it's like, bro, I didn't ask you. We're not in a session. Like, I'm not asking you for advice. I just wanted to hear, well, that's great. That's it.
Yeah, and also as a therapist, you shouldn't be giving advice. You should never mind. This is my social work degree finally paying off the shit that I do not use.
He's the #1 CBT
$20,000
enjoyer in the country.
Yeah. No, if your therapist sends you something that's like, oh, you should stop doing this. This is a bad thing for you to do. Then like you're
gotta
way
go.
out of line, dog. Like,
Yeah, unless it's
no,
like
get a new
smoking
therapist.
like meth, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, well,
Yeah.
I think she's right to say that.
I guess I could cut down. I do. It's a lot of meth.
I don't know. If I was a therapist, I wouldn't even tell somebody to not smoke meth. I would literally be like, okay, well, let's talk about why you smoke meth.
Well,
you know,
that's true.
yeah.
That's super
Anyway.
true. The problem is that's mega true.
It's actually, yeah, it is a truth nuclear device.
Right. So obviously she's an asshole for doing yoga, right? Like we can all agree on that.
That's true. I
Yeah,
agree.
for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I agree
It's
with
terrible
that.
to invite.
Are we voting, or is there more stuff to this?
No, that's literally it. Are you ready to vote?
Yeah,
I love that. It's just. Well, that
okay.
was weird.
Decision time.
When it comes to this woman, is she the asshole for letting Satan come into her body?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1.
No.
You can do that.
No.
You can let Satan come into your body. It's all right.
Yeah, also, you should probably email some sort of licensing division so your therapist can lose her fucking license.
But wait.
Great news. There is an update to this one.
Oh?
Okay, so there's a couple updates. The first one says, update. Yes, I terminated the relationship. She did apologize, but I had to explain that what she sent was inappropriate and could be damaging. She didn't believe it. Mini update the same day. I sent this email. I'm wanting to send these due to your discussion of yoga. Please know I am not trying to condemn you or tell you what to do. I stopped doing yoga based on my own research and information I'd received from others based on my Christian beliefs and desire to stay guarded spiritually. I'm inclined spiritually to send these resources, not to persuade, but to inform. Do your own research, of course. And the link had a YouTube video called Why I No Longer Practice Yoga as a Christian. Yoga Invites Demons. You're Opening Demonic Doors. Is Yoga Demonic? And an article, Why Catholics Should Not Practice Yoga. I knew this didn't sit right with me. I tried to laugh it off, but I agree. I don't think I could return. It would just be too weird.
Oh man.
Now there is one more
Yeah,
update.
Thank God.
Update. Ditched the therapist and joined a yoga studio.
Good.
I had the post a couple of weeks ago about my therapist sending me videos that yoga was devil worship. There were over 900 comments. Thank you for the feedback. Because of my actions, the therapist was fired. I also joined a yoga studio for cheaper than the therapist. I've never felt better. I can squat without knee pain. My back doesn't hurt. I have mental clarity and peace. Whether I get a new therapist, we'll see. It was short-term couples counseling, so we may or may not seek out another therapist based on where we are. But the yoga is here to stay.
Yippee!
I mean, I got to be honest. I think the therapist was right to fear yoga.
Yeah, it's
Right? It
taking
cost her
I thought
business.
that was going to be the angle, is to take her business away.
Exactly.
I love that angle that you mentioned. Like, as soon as you said it, Joseph, I was like, that's so fucking funny. No, I need to be the healer of your mental health.
Oh man, good stuff. Good stuff.
There was one thing that really, as soon as you hear it, it's like I know what you are, and it's the do your own research.
Do
And
your
I
own
was like,
research.
oh,
Yeah, do your own
yeah.
research. I was like, do your own research.
It's like, no.
Yeah. I think you should do your own research, and then they hold up 3 fingers in a way that I think is sort of incorrect, you know?
What if they're like, don't do any research? Like, you should not be doing research.
That's me.
What are
Everything's
you
on
reading like a
vibes.
fucking nerd? Are you gay?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Stop.
Oh
Can't
man.
say that, dude.
Stop.
Well, no, that's what you would say as a therapist because you say that kind of
Oh,
stuff all
that's
the
true,
time.
actually.
That's very
Yeah, as soon as we
true.
stop
Yeah.
rolling, you're always saying stuff like that.
That's true, yeah. And then I would tell my client how being gay invites the devil into their relationship.
I mean, I'm always saying that for sure.
The council has spoken.
All right. I think that's just about it. Anyone got any closing thoughts?
How do I do this?
Hopefully you do, so you're keeping the demons out of your head.
Wow.
Oh, that's so dumb. Fuck. This
You're like, why did
podcast
I laugh at
sucks."
that stupid joke?
Goodbye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.